Diary 01, the beginning. This is just a self-help spewing of thoughts that I'm going to do. Basically a way of journaling and reflecting and being able to look back on it. I'm going to post these publicly just for other people to see. If they see it, that's amazing. And hopefully it helps them or inspires them. But if not, that is okay. This is truly just for me. But I do want to help people in the process. But that is not the goal. But it is obviously great. I'm posting these to YouTube just so I have phone storage, but can also see these. Because videos, whatever, they're storage. I'm gonna die. And that's a weird topic to always think about. What's gonna happen? I always see reels of, I mean, not always, every once in a while, I'll see a reel of people closer to death saying, or like, I heard about this book where it was the author would interview people that are close to death and just ask, what are things you wish you did or what you regret? And it's always around the same thing, just like being myself, being more loving, and just acting on what I wanted to do. And I've seen these multiple times, and you would think that would be a wake-up call. It seems like an amazing book. I unfortunately do not know the author. But you would think this would be a wake-up call for me. Like, oh, these people that have lived their lives and are way more experienced than I will be for this set amount of time, 40 years or whatever, to say, are saying live your life because it ends, you die. And I just sit there and scroll past it. It makes me think for a second, but I scroll past it. Implementing that into my brain and just scrolling to being like to ignore is awful, obviously for my brain chemistry, but also it's a bad habit. I'm just ignoring the uncomfortableness. And this is me sitting with it for the first time. I'm going to die. But that's okay. I think it's an important part of the human process. This is an assumption, but if we were to live eternally, would we do anything ever? What would the motivation be? I don't have to do my assignment. I could just go to college next year. I could just try again next year. Like, it doesn't matter, I could fail. I don't have to have that awkward conversation because I could just do it next year. Time is infinite, but it's not. And I think that is important, as awful as that may sound, and as awful as that might feel. But it is important because we need to use this time that we have to the best of our ability. And going back to all these people on their deathbeds, that was a strange way to say it. But you know what I mean. They physically tell us, like, these are the top things that people regret, like survey says. And I just sit there every once in a while when I see this, like once every 2 months. I sit there for a second and say, wow, I should change. But then I say, tomorrow, today's Sunday, I'll do it tomorrow. Monday, it's the start of the week, like, it'll work out. So when is tomorrow? Let's define that. Tomorrow is tomorrow. It's the next day. It's the next day. It's the next day. Tomorrow never comes. We will never obtain tomorrow. Tomorrow is infinitely in front of us. We will never achieve the tomorrow version of us because we are always saying, oh, we'll do it tomorrow. You won't. Even saying, I've thought of this. I'm like, okay, so I'll do it. I'll start saying I'll do it today. I'll do it later today. No, you won't. You never do. Most people won't. And that's okay. We're human. This is our first time doing this, allegedly. And we all don't understand completely how anything operates. It's not, we're in this for the first time. We're gonna make a lot of mistakes. We're not gonna be the best version of ourselves constantly. We will make mistakes, but you can strive and be the closest to perfection. And that is through not saying you're going to do it tomorrow, not saying you are going to do it later today or today. You have to get up and do it now. If you don't do it now, it's not going to happen. Truly, it could, but it's not. Like, I've been wanting to do so many things for so long. I've wanted to make music. I've wanted to learn guitar. I've wanted to learn piano. I've wanted to learn all of these things. I've wanted to talk to certain people. I've wanted to create art. I've wanted to learn how to properly do yoga. Like, there's all of these things that I've always wanted to do. I've wanted to do since I was 16 years old. I am 21. And although, yes, in retrospect, I'm still young, I could have been a pro at all of these things if I just did it right now. And yes, this may be the random 3 a.m. sudden motivation. It's actually like 1:30. But this is something that I've wanted to do. I've wanted to sit and talk to my phone and look at myself and say all these affirmations. I'm going to do this now. This is something I've been putting off. I've been saying, this is something I want to do. That'd be cool. Okay, then what are we waiting for? And that's why I used that random 3 a.m. motivation at 1:30 a.m. And I'm doing it now. Not today, not later, not tomorrow, not in a couple days. I'm not waiting for the right time. Like, oh, tomorrow's Monday. I'll just do it tomorrow. Which tomorrow is Monday. Well, today's Monday. Wait. Yeah, I'm one of those people, like, actually today's Monday. It's like 1 a.m. Just do it now. Or it's never gonna happen. It's hard. It's gonna be so hard. But you gotta do it every day. That's the hard part, but it gets easier every day. BoJack Horseman quote. I'm sure the poster's like in this area. You can't really see it. It's next to my random bird poster, which is something I want to do. I want to like get into bird watching and be like, oh, like that's a blue jay. Like I said, blue jay. Like, I don't know any birds. I am starting to do it now. As of, what's the day? February 17th, 2025. Project. Today's the day. And I've been trying to do this for 5 years, but I've been stuck. I've gone through a lot. And everyone has. But today's the day. And I might look back at this. I'm probably will look back at this and be like, this is a little cringy. But I feel like I always do that to my past self a little bit. Because I'm like, why would I do that? But that means I'm growing. And that's a beautiful thing. I hope anyone that sees this will join me on this journey. But this is truly something that I just need to do for myself. I beat myself up about it all of the time. It's been over 5 years where I've been wanting to do all of these hobbies, go talk to that person, make that connection. and I've missed so much. But it's never too late. Don't let that upset you. Use that as motivation. I can feel the anger and the sadness, but the excitement in my stomach. But are you just always going to live with, like, are you always going to sit with that? Or is it time? And it is time. It's time for me.